Good evening. This is the Angry Capitalist, and in this video on my ENTJ series, I'm going to be going over uh, something that's been on my mind for a bit, and it's martial arts as it pertains to the personality type, specifically ENTJs. A brief warning, by the way, it's going to be a bit of a ramble session. I've got a few notes taken down just to make sure that I hit everything that I've thought about this prior, but I'm going to be rambling quite a bit, so just a heads up on that. And before I forget, if you enjoy this content, like the video, hit subscribe, comment down below if you do martial arts and how you think that relates to your functions. Also be drinking some tea throughout this. Black tea, no sugar, no cream. It's kind of a before I go to bed caffeine. So, as of recording, it is May 7th, new moon. I took up Muay Thai back in February, so I'm about three and a half months in. I've had some limited experience with martial arts. I fucked around back in like high school, middle school. Nothing too serious, nothing too disciplined. And then, I did McMap, which is the Marine Corps Martial Arts program. Got like halfway through the belt system. But it's not like it's way different from the way that I'm training currently. This is way more intentional, focused, much more technique. McMap is basically the way I describe it is meant for bars and battlefields. So if you want to take a bunch of 19 year olds, 20 somethings, and get them spun up to be able to fight and win quickly, it's great for that. Especially if you're doing like batches of hundreds of effectively kids, and you're trying to get them onto some kind of understanding of how to do violence to another person. It's good for that. But, it's like large group training, not a whole lot of in-depth technique until you get into the higher belt echelons and you start doing martial arts outside of the Marine Corps' like group training type deal. But anyhow, I digress. It's super gay. Anyone who's done that, drop it in the comments does McMap just feel super gay? Now, why did I take this up? The biggest reason was to get myself out of my comfort zone. I had been in a rut throughout much of last year where I was not really doing anything super new or challenging for myself. Work, finance, fucked around with the YouTube channel a bit. I had some other stuff go on of a personal nature. Of course, some stuff in regards to like business and that kind of thing. But it wasn't super new. And it wasn't personally challenging on a consistent enough basis. And I found myself in this rut, right? So I figured, fuck it. Let's see if we can find a Muay Thai gym in the area that's close enough to me and that's not like a McDojo. Found one. It's like 30 minutes away from me, but fuck it. Speaking of which, why Muay Thai specifically? There is an MMA gym closer to me, and they do have a Muay Thai component within their larger framework. But something about Muay Thai was just very, very attractive. For one, although going back to McMap, Marine Corps martial arts program, elbows and knees are a thing. Not as refined and thought out as Muay Thai is, obviously. But doing that, I found out I like to elbow shit, and I really like to knee people, especially people bigger than me. Within that, clinching I found was also very fun, and I wanted to learn more about it. Now, for anyone who's not familiar, clinching is where you grab someone around the head or the shoulder, um, and you're grappling, standing up for the purpose of either wearing someone out or to hit them. So you're clinching someone, let's say around the neck, and then you're hitting them with knees. Maybe you clinch them and you hit them with an elbow, that kind of thing. It's like a grappling in order to strike. Now within Muay Thai, it's specifically within standing, so there's no like ground and pound. Um, I suck at like grappling on the ground. Did that a bit. Super gay. Another dude on top of you. You're on top of another dude. No, thank you. So jujitsu was not for me in that component. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are plenty of jujitsu practitioners out there, male and female, who can kick my ass, but it's not for me. Um, a few other just random notes and thoughts that pop into my head. Honestly, kicking a heavy bag is super therapeutic. Um, I kind of like the bruise sensation on my lower shin that I've got right now from kicking from yesterday. And also, for why Muay Thai specifically, as a fighting system, I think that it is undeniably effective. You're using your pretty much your entire body for the most part: fists, elbows, shins, or feet. Actually, so feet and shins, knees, etc. Um, and also within the Muay Thai system, there are subsystems. So they're like Muay Femur fighters, which is the system I'm training underneath, which is technical, uses everything, um, and it tries to combine everything in a very technical way. That's like Sanchai, Lurdzilla, etc. And they're also Muay Cow fighters. So these are people who are primarily knee fighters. So if I remember the name correctly, Sylvie Douglas. She's a foreigner in Muay Thai. She's a Muay Cow fighter. So she does a lot of clinch work and knee strikes. And they're like Muay Thai or Muay Sock fighters, mostly elbows and such. So there are more refined disciplines and styles and variation within the overall system. Uh, Luckily, I was able to find a pretty good gym when I was doing this search. Dude's very technical. He touches on everything. Not dogmatic whatsoever. His whole thing is so long as whatever you're doing should work, do it. Try it. Experiment though. Don't just find one thing you like, but try out other stuff. So he will have people. He will challenge people. With, hey, do it in this way, at least for today's class, or at least for the upcoming week. Do it in this fashion. Feel it out. See how you like it. Not like McDojo-y whatsoever. Phenomenal atmosphere. Um, not super. God damn, boys. Sorry, it is late at night right now. If you can't tell by how tired I am, and my cats are losing their shit because I'm not in bed yet. They're fighting. Goodness. So the gym has a really solid atmosphere. Lots of classes are pretty small to where it's just a few people. Which, on the one hand, yeah, the coach wants to have a big class in there to have lots of students, but excuse me. For my purposes, though, it's nice because I just don't like being around like a shit ton of people when I'm doing stuff like that. Some thoughts on it. I think doing martial arts from the perspective of an ENTJ, it's very good for the mind to body connection. I don't know if others have this disconnect. Maybe it's just me. But I find that I don't have super great connection between um, what I'm thinking and what I'm physically doing or feeling without a good bit of practice uh, in doing it. So some individuals, ISTPs, I'll use ISTPs as an example. I think they're super, super fucking neat. They have very good uh, kinesthetics. So, like, they have very good command over the physical and their bodies as a result. Um, I don't necessarily have that, at least not without practice, right? So, doing a martial art, Muay Thai in particular, for myself, it's very good for that mind body connection to practice it, to feel it. Um, Even as far as ENTJs go, I think I may be, at least when I test out and it gives you the variation, I tend to have a very excessive amount of TE. Now, I wonder if that's perhaps the cause of it. Like, I'm so thinking externally about the outside world so much um, that it creates that disconnection to my internal world, my own body. So I kind of wonder if martial arts exercises SI and SE. So that would be introverted sensing and extroverted sensing. Introverted sensing to physically sense your internal body mechanics, emotional state, so on and so forth, breathing. And extroverted sensing, well, if you're engaging with another person, you have to sense the exterior in that aspect. Let's see. Ooh. The other thing too is I often lack a sense of community. Um, I had that while I was in the Corps, and then I got out and I went to banking, and I didn't really have it. And then I left banking and I went into a sales job that had a boiler room type atmosphere. It was a bunch of the boys, you know. We get done with work, go to a restaurant down the road, have a beer or two after work or on weekends, that kind of thing. Very aggressive, very competitive. Younger guys getting into sales for the first time for the most part. In that environment, as well as the Marine Corps, I had this sense of community. Now, I noticed this in myself that I can't really connect with people too deeply unless there's some kind of a shared goal, shared suffering, or shared experience, or a shared goal with a shared experience, including shared suffering. I think that may be more accurate to say. So, just hanging out with people all the time necessarily, or watching the game together, um, that to me is excessively boring and I hate it. It's like, what am I doing here? This is a complete waste of time. You people are a waste of my time and emotional energy to even know what the fuck is this bullshit. I hate that kind of thing. It's not for me. It's not for me. I want to be working towards something together with like-minded people. And church is definitely not for me. No, thank you. Nothing against you if that's your cup of tea, but it's not in mine. Um, I think that may even deviate away from the ENTJ personality type. Maybe it applies to uh, everyone. Maybe it applies to various types. maybe it's even a masculine thing, if that makes sense. The whole like working together towards a common goal with like-minded people thing. I find martial arts is very effective for having that real sense of community. Additionally, with martial arts, it's it's a way for me to channel my more chaotic and violent energy in a controlled, practiced way, right? So, for example, we're doing a technique drill with another person. Excuse me. You have to be able to have control over your body enough to where if you're, doing your fucking technique on them up against a shell, or if they're blocking, that you're not completely blasting them, or you're not moving so fast that they can't appropriately defend. Uh, but there is still that controlled violence. Um, that you're doing there. Then likewise, if you're hitting on a heavy bag, you can give it a little bit more snap, a little bit more dig into that target. You can really feel out your body's capabilities and limitations, and hey, how hard can I hit? How fast can I hit? While still maintaining control. It's very good for that, I find. Likewise, I'm an individual who just tends to have more aggressive energy within me, and it's very good to alleviate it and practice channeling it with intention. Additionally, it's damn good for fitness. Fantastic cardio, pretty good all body workout. Let's see. I had a commenter a while back ask, what kind of martial arts that I might recommend to an ENTJ. And frankly, it's kind of up to the individual. Um, find what's available in your area, try it out. Most gyms they offer like a couple of free classes. Goodness. Um, try it out, see how it feels. I would say more important than finding the right martial art is finding the right gym, the right coaches and atmosphere. Um, you don't want to go to a type place. That's not going to be for you. It's definitely not for me. So I would say the right gym or the right coach is more important than the right martial art, first and foremost. Now, within that, within that, going back to the martial art component, a few things that I would throw out as suggestions. So obviously, of course, Muay Thai, boxing, just straight up boxing, would definitely likely be good. Uh, although I ragged on it earlier, uh, grappling, jujitsu, that kind of thing. HEMA, and overall fencing. So fencing with like a rapier. Um, if you can find a gym in your area that has it, you could even do like broadswords, that kind of thing. Um, all different types of weaponed or armed melee combat um, training systems that are out there. Those I think would still be very good. And the other thing too, I would look at it as well is an element of practicality, right? So Muay Thai, unarmed combat, effective fighting system, using your full body. Um, you could use that in a self defense situation. Boxing, it'll work too. Kickboxing, likewise. Um, grappling, jujitsu, that kind of thing. You can use it. This is my own opinion, and keep in mind this is someone who's not very good at grappling and is also just naturally more inclined to be a striker. When it comes to a grappling martial art, if you end up fighting multiple people, or if you end up on the ground and there's multiple people, to me that seems like a bad situation because then you can't run away, right? Like call me a coward in the comments if you want to, but frankly speaking, if the situation's not looking good and if I can run or uh, uh, tactically break contact, I fucking will, to minimize any potential injury to myself, or to get myself out of that bad situation. So I prefer to be standing for that reason, but you know what? I think it would still work. Jiu-jitsu, some other forms of grappling. But keep in mind, once again, it's less about the specific martial art. It's more about the gym, the coaches, the atmosphere that you should be looking for. And really, the only way you can find that is just by searching up martial arts gyms near me, um, or whatever you want to type in your search bar. Check some of them out. Go there, try it out. Hey, is it okay if I sit in for a couple classes? I'd like to get a feel for the place. And that, I think, pretty much wraps this video up. If you do martial arts, drop it down in the comment below. What is your martial art? Do I have any grapplers out there who are going to be pissed off at me? um, all in good fun. All in good fun. But go ahead and drop it down below. What kind of experience have you had? What has it done for you? I'm curious if there's anything that I may be missing, especially from my fellow ENTJs. So with that, have a good night, and I'll see you later. Take care.